think we're live.
Hello, Facebook world. I'm here today with Jody Danson from Mummachat, and it has been a very long time since I have done one of these. These I did a couple years back. They were called Show and Tell because when I was a school teacher many moons ago, the children couldn't say Chantal, so they said Show and Tell, and hence I got the nickname Show and Tell, which was really fun and interesting to tell my partner when I first met him. I said my nickname's called Show and Tell, especially because I met him on Tinder. But I'm here today with Jody Danson, and she is by far one of my most favorite clients, if I can say that. And she's been with me for such a very long time. And I just thought it'd be a great opportunity to be able to share with everyone today a little bit about Jody, a little bit about her business, a little bit about what she does and who she helps. And just to see, if we can put her in front of more people to be able to help more people, but also to see how she uses social media in her business. So it's a win-win for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
So Jody, it'd be really awesome if you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm obviously Jody, and I am a mum of three, a wife of one. I can only handle one. Wife of one, a teacher, blogger, and coach. And my primary goal is to help mums who have been in a situation such as myself, and hopefully that they can reclaim their well-being, their sense of self, and so they can be better leaders in the world for their kids.
Yeah, excellent. So tell us a little bit about how because you were actually were you in the Navy?
Yeah.
So you were in the Navy, and then from the Navy became a school teacher, so an educator?
That's right. Yes. So that's exactly right. So I was an educator late in life in comparison to today's world. Yeah.
And so why the sort of the transition to go, well, like, what did you see as a school teacher that made you think, oh, well, you know what, I really want to be able to help mums. Like there's this gap. There's this gap and I really want to fill that gap.
Yeah. So when I was teaching, like, and from my own experience as a mum, you get all the support and, you got your play groups and things like that. So you have this support from when the babies are 0 to 5, and you get together and you chat and talk about baby poop and, sore nipples and all sorts of things, and obviously some more meaningful stuff as well between that 0 to 5. But once you hit school, there's none of that support around anymore. And you could see mums come and you think this kid had a hell of a morning because mum's lost her shit, excuse my French, has lost her ish, because, for whatever reason, she's just not feeling great, So when I saw that, I thought, where does she go now? Like, she'll go home or to work? Either if she's a stay-at-home mum, she'll go home and clean the house and do whatever. And if she goes to work, well, she's going to have to put her work brain on and just deal with it later. Now, the problem being is that sometimes that issue, whatever's going on for her, is never actually dealt with. And so, mums serve and serve and serve and serve, as we all do, to our families, but very rarely prioritise their own self-care and self-well-being as a priority. So they can't give to their families enough. So the kids come to school frazzled themselves because of the poor mum needs to get a cup filled, and it hasn't been filled for a very long time. That makes sense?
Yeah, they say happy wife, happy life, right?
Yeah, and so true. And happy mum, fun mum, great mum, loving mum, a contributing mum. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And we all know that if the mum, the mum is the center, it's like the nucleus of the family. Like if she is good, then everything else will be well around it. So
absolutely.
And sometimes you sacrifice so much but it's actually to the detriment of everyone else at the household, as well as your well-being, like you said. And right now during COVID, I mean, it must be even more so with, you know, people that have to homeschool, and, you know, they're now being forced into lockdown. That pressure and that stress must be so much more.
Oh, that must be, I mean, for me, I live in central Queensland, so I am completely out of, it's like I'm living in another world. I can only imagine like homeschooling and not being able to go to the toilet by yourself, not getting that break. We all need a break. Doesn't matter how perfect a mum you are, not that that's such a thing, but you still need a break. It must be absolutely horrendous for them, really, from a mental and an emotional perspective, you know.
So the program that you have created, how does that help mums?
So this program I've done myself because I had my second and third child. There's quite a gap between my second and first. And I was not the nicest of persons or people, let's just say. And it was a couple of women friends who said to me, you need to get your stuff sorted because you're just not right. And the reason why you are the way you are is because you are so negative, you're bitter, you're resentful, and all these sorts of negative emotions. So I went and done this course myself, and I saw a huge change in just feeling like that constantly irritable, snapping at your kids, you know, feeling so overwhelmed that you either A, want to run away and hide, or just scream off your rocker, either or, whichever works for you. So I have adapted this program to my own, and it's a 6-week program to basically take mum who's overwhelmed, bitter, resentful, just not coping with life, schedule self-care time for her to really look at where she wants to be, reassessing her identity as a mum and a woman, because we change as we become mothers, and where she wants to go, because if you have goals and if you have some sort of sense of purpose outside of motherhood, then you are a much more rounded and, you know, well person. So the idea is so that at the end of the 6 weeks, we can either part ways and you've got the tools and practical skills to keep going and moving forward, or we can, you know, obviously keep working. It just depends on the needs of the mum.
Yeah, look, I think that's amazing. I mean, even with, you know, the coaching that I do, I think it's the accountability, it's the support, it's the expertise. It's about having someone there for you to be able to support you through things, rather than trying to, you know, stretch yourself and wing it half the time. So I think that's, you know, absolutely fabulous, especially in these times right now. And so many more people need to be getting the help, rather than just, you know, being satisfied, being dissatisfied. More people need to actually just, you know, get the help that they need. And, you know, successful people in life all have coaches. Everyone who's successful have got a coach for everything. So it's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a sign of strength.
Absolutely. Asking for help, I think, is a huge sign of strength, and the courage. Courage before things get to the point. Like I don't know, I'd love to do a scientific PhD study one day. Someone can do it, maybe not me, in the effects of coaching and recognizing the problem before it gets to the point where you need medication, psychologists, psychiatrists and stuff like that preempt as a preventative. I think coaching, personally, if I didn't have coaching, I probably would be in a very different situation to what I am now.
Yeah, I suppose, and that's one of our questions that I have for you today, is that the coaching that you have received from myself through, you know, we do one-on-one coaching, we do the weekly VIP mastermind group. You know, how have you found that coaching, that support?
How they? I don't know how long we've been working together, but it's been some time. It's a few years. Like that one-on-one coaching with you is, well, not only are you a online strategist, but you're also, you know, someone to vent to about stuff. So it's really good. And you'll meet me where I'm at, which is fantastic. In terms of the online stuff, I don't think I would have the blogging or the website or the branding or any of that stuff so nicely packaged to what I have now that I've been working with you if I didn't have you. It's a bit like a duck, and they're pedaling underwater and they're moving along. But if that's with you, you're moving forward. But if I was that duck, I'd like have one leg broken and I'd be going around circles,
I think that's so important, because a lot of people think that they need to get their shit sorted before they actually start working with a coach.
No.
Because they're so scared that when they get the coaching that they're going to get so overwhelmed and so stressed. But a lot of people don't realize that it is the coaching that stops them from the overwhelm and stress and helps put people on track in an effective and manageable way. It doesn't have to be overwhelming and stressful. And, you can only do what you can do.
That's right. And someone's there to hold your hand. You've got your homework and you just focus on that. And that beats the overwhelm. You need to do this, this, and this in the next 2 weeks before our next session. Off you go.
Yeah, excellent.
And it's great.
That's awesome. So how do you use social media to reach your audience? And if you haven't had a look, go and have a look at Mummachat on Facebook. Jody has some of the nicest positioned content. You can see why she's a blogger. Her content is truly helpful and amazing, and it's a really good example of how content should be done. So would you like to just talk to us a little bit about your content? I think you're a big fan of sort of blocking out chunks of it, but maybe you want to talk us through, how you manage your social media content.
Okay. On a good week, I'll put it, because there's, stuff happens. So on a good week, I'll program time on a weekend. And because I use Facebook as my primary source of social media, but I've also linked my Instagram to that, and I use the scheduler that Facebook provides in your business suite, and I schedule all that out. And obviously I relate a lot of things to probably depends on what's going on in the world and things like that, and mix it up a bit. And then if things aren't always, and sometimes I also actually, in saying that, I schedule in advance, so some things do pop up along the way. So that's content that I don't have to create again, but something that maybe need to be repurposed. It's what do they call that? Evergreen. Sometimes things happen and I may not get that chance or as long as I want. So I have the business suite on my phone, and I have set things that I do. So I'll quickly do up a post, and I'll schedule it the night before or the day of, just depending what's going on. But yes, my Facebook and my Instagram accounts are exactly the same. And I quite often put a lot of my content, changing photos obviously, on my personal profile as well, just to reach, a wider audience that way. What else?
So I think, there's some key things there that you've said. And I think one is about, having time management. So time management and having, scheduled time so that you can be prepared and organized, but then also having flexibility for that and planning for times where shit happens and you've got to now, you have to have those other things that are scheduled in. Like I went away for 4 days, so I've got to have content scheduled in. I need to be organized enough to be able to have that. Some other key factors there that you mentioned is that, using the Business Suite app or the Creator Studio on the actual desktop, if you're using Facebook and Instagram schedulers, you are likely to get more visibility or more traction out of that. So it's better to use that. And I think the third thing that's, really important is having a content plan and a content strategy, so that, with your content bucket, you can quickly pull things as needed and keep it relevant and topical, whilst also having, a wider sort of plan and strategy around growing your profiles. So, you certainly do it well. And there has to be that flexibility in there. Shit does happen. So
that's right. And you can repurpose too. Like I've just joined the world of TikTok because my 9-year-old pressured me to. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So, and I'm just repurposing my content that I've already created for the last few years and creating that into video form, short video form, because our attention span, and, you know, my content strategy is for short, sharp, 300 words or less sort of content, because, you know, mum's on the fly, very busy. So TikTok in a way is a real blessing that I can repurpose on those other platforms, because it's quick, it's easy, and it's content that I've already created before. I've just got to shoot the video.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's the same as this. You know, this will become a video. The video becomes a live. That will go out to the email database. It then gets broken up into a blog. The blog gets broken up into social media posts. It then goes out in a newsletter. It goes out onto the website. So yeah, 100%. It's about having that roadmap or that strategy around taking content and repurposing it so that you do spend less time online.
That's
because
right.
I don't want to spend time online. I seriously have better things to do. So if I can do things simply and effectively, it's going to make for a happy me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think before I worked with you, I was kind of trying to create all this different content for each platform. I think I was doing that. I dabbled in Hootsuite and I'd done all this, but you sort of said, no, you need to do it this way. And it's made my life so much easier in that respect.
Yeah. And as long as you're respecting the platforms, I think, you know, that's the South African in me. I like things cheap and easy. And it's all about, you know, if you respect the platforms, you can get maximum use and reach out of it, which is awesome.
Yeah,
so Jody, how can people connect with you? If there's mums out there right now and they feeling like they need to calm their farm and, you know, have better behavior from their children. You're mentioning you've got something special for them. Where can they find that?
Absolutely. So on my Facebook page, you'll find a ebook tab or free ebook tab. And in there is two ebooks for you as a bundle. One is exactly of how to calm your farm as a mum, and it's 5 tips, as well as 1 step to helping your kids' behaviour. So for those mums who are particularly probably frazzled right now with their kids just climbing the walls, that might be something that's worth a little bit of a read at the moment.
Yeah, excellent. And, you know, we all know how to play the game. You opt in, grab the freebie, go onto the email list, and you're not going to be spammed. In fact, you're going to rather be nurtured. And if it's the opportunity for you, then you'll get the invitation to be able to find out more about the 6-week program that you do offer.
Yeah, exactly. And in them also, you can follow me on my socials as well for pretty much daily practical tips that will help you through.
Yeah, excellent. So please go and connect with Jody Danson from Mummachat. And it's been absolutely amazing having you on here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I look forward to another show and tell real soon.
Bye. Thank you.